Good afternoon, dear beloved friends. Hot greeting to you from Houston, Texas. That is where we are right now. Warm and hot. It's a joy to be here with you today. Can you hear us okay, Sister Đính? Could you say something?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, sisters. I can hear you fine.
Wonderful. Where you live right now, is it hot like here, 100 degrees?
We are from the Big Spring Sangha in Huntsville, Alabama, with a heat index of 109 degrees.
Wow. Yes. Mother Earth is suffering right now.
Very badly.
We all are
And
aware.
Canada is a fire.
Yes. Could you please unmute yourself and say hello to all of us?
Hello.
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 Hey.
Anyone here from outside of the United States? Could you raise your hand? Oh, nice. May we ask which country are you living?
I'm in Mexico. Go ahead, Becky.
I'm in the UK.
UK. Oh, wow. It is quite late in the UK. Okay.
And I'm in Mexico.
Mexico. Wow.
Yes.
Hola.
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 Gusto en verles.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien. ¿Y usted? ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien.
Me
Gracias.
alegra. Me alegra.
We also had one friend who raised their hand. Yes, where are you currently living?
Tammy. I'm from Canada. I'm in Canada and we're not on fire. I'm not on fire. My ego's burning up though.
We're happy you're not on fire.
We are too. We have some friends in Ontario and they're on fire.
Yeah, let us send our energy to our friends in Canada, in Europe, different parts of the US, India. I heard India is going through flooding right now. Yeah. It's about 58 degrees here in San Francisco. We are happy for you.
Hot for San Francisco.
We're so not on fire. We just had hail like 5 minutes ago. It was hailing and raining. So yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we can start singing a song to Mother Earth, shall we?
Would be nice, sister.
And before we do that, I would like to ask, is anyone here joining us for the first time? Could you raise your hand? 2 hands, wonderful. Thank you. We are so happy to have you here with us. There are faces that I haven't seen for a long time, and today I see you again. You know who you are. We are so happy to see faces that come here often and those who are here for the first time. Yesterday, 7 sisters drove from Batesville, Mississippi to Houston. We left home at 5:30 and we didn't get here until 7:30. Not because of traffic jam, but because we had so much harmony in the car. We like to take breaks. And it was a very light trip, even though for us to be on the road for that long. And what happened at the monastery before our trip, Sister Đính? Could you share briefly to our friends?
We had a retreat for Vietnamese friends. About 300 friends come to the monastery to spend time together. And That's so young, right? A
Yeah.
lot of majority of the friends are very young age. They're happy, but the only thing that made them unhappy that we don't have Wi-Fi or signal for their cell phones. But just only the first day, the second day, they start to enjoy the retreat, the activity.
Yes. Thank you for that, Sister Ding. And so today we're sitting at a hut. We have a hut in Houston, Texas, for us to come to rest or to see doctors. So this is the meditation hall of the hut. Yeah, as you could see the background. Are you able to see our background? Okay.
Yes.
So the Buddha is here. Mindfulness is here. Joy, happiness is here. So let us sing. Okay. Are you able? Okay. For those of you who are here for the first time, we want to share with you that in the Plum Village tradition, we like to sing very much. And these songs are to help us to touch life more deeply in the present moment. These songs are not just to entertain us, but to help us practice, to get in touch with the wonders of life. So perhaps if there is a song that you would like us to sing together, please type in the chat box and we will sing with you. Please kindly mute yourself because the echo will happen when we unmute. So we have number 9, happiness, number 3, number 2, and we'll end with breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so we'll start with number 9. Please help us, Sister Ding. This song is to Mother Earth. It's for Mother Earth.
I love nature. We also have hand movements that please do hand movement with us to bring more joy. The children really enjoy this song. I love nature, nature is cool. The forest is my classroom, the earth is my school. Trees are my teachers, animals are my friends, and on this school our life depends. And on this school our life depends. One more time. I love nature, nature is cool. The forest is my classroom, the earth is my school. Trees are my teachers, animals are my friends, and on this school our life depends. And on this school our life depends. Happiness is here and now. It's number 11. So please really practice with us that happiness is here now. Because we don't have what, Sister Ding? We don't have anything to worry right now.
And we don't have toothache. Well, at least 2 of us, we don't have toothache. Right? We can smile without feeling the pain around our mouth. We have many conditions to be happy. So please smile with us when we sing this song. Feel the happiness in your bone, in your cell, in your flesh, in your heart. We don't sing just to finish the song. We sing to experience the happiness. Sẽ đến nhé.
Happiness
Is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do. But I don't need to hurry. Some happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do. But I don't need to hurry. There's a request for number 2, number 3, and then number 2. Number 3, okay. This is a wonderful song to sing when we are by ourselves or when we are sitting with other people, when we have strong emotions, when we disagree with what other people said, or when other people say something that, when we say something that we know they disagreed. It's a good song to sing because inside of us we have an island. And we come back to that island to take refuge. And perhaps the different nature in this island can represent the different qualities that each one of us have.
Living in, I go back to the island within myself. There are beautiful trees within the island. There are clear streams of water. There are birds, sunshine, and fresh air. Breathing out, I feel safe. I enjoy going back to my island. Breathing in, I go back to the island within myself. There are beautiful trees within the island. There are clear streams of water. There are birds, sunshine, and fresh air. Breathing out, I feel safe. I enjoy going back to my island. And we can end with the song,
Breathing in, breathing out. Our breath is always with us, very faithful friend. And yet, oftentimes we forget about our best friend. It is there to help us recognize, touch the quality of freshness, solidity, spaciousness inside of us.
Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as a dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, friends, for practicing meditation with us. I hope that everyone will water some good seeds in yourself by singing meditation. For me, singing meditation is very wonderful. It helped me to come back to myself, come back to my breathing, and recognize the condition of happiness that I'm having right now. And don't be carried away by my emotions or my feelings or my worries. And I hope that you can have some time by yourself or with your family or with your friends to water the good seeds in yourself by singing meditation. And now I would like to invite everyone to come back to your breathing. You can close your eyes and easier to contact with your breathing. Just be present, enjoy the present, enjoy the breathing, knowing that you are alive. Right now in this moment, we are here together. Cultivate the present moment, cultivate the happiness, peace, joyful together. Relax your shoulders, relax your face by offer yourself a half smile. Keep your head, your back straight but relaxed. One hand can put on top of the other hand or put a relaxed thumb on your laps. And during the sitting of sitting meditation, if there's some thoughts arrive in your mind, it's okay. Just smile to it and come back to focus on your breathing. I will start the session with 3 sounds of the bell. The sounds of the bell is a wonderful sound to call us back to the present moment.
Also, dear friends, during the guided sitting meditation, you will hear 2 sentences followed by 2 keywords. And these keywords help us to practice, to be more focused on the object of the meditation. If your body is in pain and you prefer to lie down, it is also okay, as long as your body is relaxed and comfortable. Thank you.
I wish you enjoy the sitting meditation session. Breathing in, I follow my in breath. I notice this is an in breath. Breathing out, I follow my out breath. And notice this is an out breath. In breath, out breath. Breathing in, I follow my in-breath from the beginning to the end. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath from the beginning to the end. Following in-breath, following out-breath, all the way through. Aware of my eyes, I breathe in, smiling to my eyes, I breathe out. Aware of eyes, smiling. Aware of my ears, I breathe in, smiling to my ears, I breathe out. Aware of ears, smiling. aware of my teeth. I breathe in, smiling to my teeth. I breathe out, aware of teeth, smiling. Aware of my lungs. I breathe in, smiling to my lungs. I breathe out, aware of lungs, smiling. Aware of my heart. I breathe in, smiling to my heart. I breathe out, aware of heart, smiling. Breathing in. I know this is an in breath. Breathing out. I know this is an out breath. In breath, out breath. Dear friends, the session of sitting meditation is over. Now you can open your eyes and can massage your face. Is the session of sitting meditation okay for everyone? Yes. And please take a moment to enjoy your water. It's really important to drink enough water during this weather. It's very hot. Now I would like to invite Sister Bội Nghiêm to give a Dharma talk for us this afternoon.
Good afternoon, dear respected Thầy, dear Sister Đính, Nghiêm, dear beloved friends. Today is July 20th in the year 2023. Sister Đính, Nghiêm and I, we are currently in Houston, Texas. We welcome you all to our session today. Many of you are from the United States and some of you are outside of US. And thank you so much for spending your Thursday afternoon or evening with us. We hope that your health is in good state, that now that you are here and you are taking good care of yourself by spending time during the day to rest, to meditate, even for 5 minutes, to look at yourself in the mirror and smile, to be in touch with the conditions of happiness you are currently having. Today I will be speaking about the second of the 5 mindfulness trainings, True Happiness. For those of you who are not yet aware of the 5 mindfulness trainings, I highly encourage you to take some moments to read the 5 mindfulness trainings in the Plum Village tradition. Over the past months, I shared the introduction and I shared the first mindfulness training, which you could find on Magnolia Grove Monastery YouTube page if you would like to watch it. I hope to finish all 5 mindfulness trainings before September. August 24th will be my last session with you because I will be moving to Deer Park. And I have great news for you that I asked one of the sisters to help continue this online session, and she agreed to do it with Sister Đính. I will keep her name as a secret for now. She will come to our session in August, and then you will see her. And she asked not to have her session posted on YouTube. So if you want to benefit from the session, you have to join live. So please, flowers, knowing that this weekly online session will continue because we have received so many sharing from our friends, letting us know how nourishing these sessions are. Of course, Sister Đính will continue. Now we have one more sister, so that makes it perfect. Sister Đính is also very committed to continue to be with all of you on Thursdays. So that makes my heart very happy. This is why today we'll talk about true happiness. True happiness, yes. The first mindfulness training is reverence for life, protecting life, not support any act of killing. In our thinking, in our speech, and in our way of life. The second mindfulness training is True Happiness. It's about sharing our time, energy, material resources with those who are in need, and also not to take anything that does not belong to us. This is the beauty of the training. It does not only tell us what we should not do, but they also invite us what we need to do. And we know that happiness is a word that we see, seems like everywhere. They're visible or sometimes they're invisible. 7 steps to happiness, 7 ways to happiness, 7 places to happiness. All these 7 or 5 or 3. But here we are talking about true happiness. We're not talking about superficial happiness or the happiness that we can touch only once in a while, or it's a happiness that we only get when we travel to our dream destination, or when we get that job promotion, or when we become famous. This happiness is very fragile, I think. They are not solid. We need happiness that is solid. The happiness that in any moment we can come back and get in touch. At any age, yes, what is that happiness? Do we only have happiness when we give? Can we have happiness when we receive? Don't we deserve to receive generosity and love from others? Are we worthy to receive others' generosity and happiness? Of course we do. So happiness is not only about giving, but happiness is also receiving. So I like for all of us to look at the second mindfulness together. I will share screen with you. Could we have Benjamin, may I ask if you could read to us the second mindfulness training? Are you there? Could you please unmute yourself? It's always nice to invite someone who is new to read, because in them there is a lot of mindfulness, attention. Whereas for me, if I read it, it's like, oh, I've read it so many times, I can predict what words come next. So my heart is not there as much. My beginner's mind might not be the same as someone who is joining us for the first time. So yes, Benjamin, thank you. Please help us
Okay.
read.
True happiness. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression. I am committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, speaking, and acting. I am determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. And I will share my time, energy, and mental resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others are not separate from my own happiness and suffering. That true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion, and that running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasure can bring much suffering and despair. I am aware of I'm aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on exterior conditions, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough conditions to be happy. I am committed to practicing right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings on Earth and reverse the process of global warming. So I go again, keep going. True love, aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct. I am committed to cultivating responsibility and learning ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. Okay, knowing that sexual desire is not love It is sexual activity motivated by cravings always harm myself as well as others. I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without mutual consent, true love, and a deep long-term commitment. I resolve to find spiritual support for the integrity of my relationships from family members, friends, and Sangha with whom there is support and trust. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. Seeing that body and mind are I can't say internalated, I am committed to learning appropriate ways to keep care of my sexual energy and cultivating the four basic elements of true love: loving, loving kindness, compassion, joy. I'm sorry, joy and I lost my place. Joy and
Inclusive.
inclusiveness for the greater good, for the greater happiness of myself and others. Recognizing the divinity of human experience, I am committed not to discriminate against any form or gender identity or sexual orientation. Practicing true love, we know that we will continue beautifully into the future.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, for
Thank
reading
you.
with so much compassion and articulate each word clearly for us to understand. And for reading the third mindfulness training uh, to as a way to let us know that yeah, that is the training that we will discuss next week. And when we read this training, how does it make us feel? Is there a voice saying inside, yes, I think I can do it? Or, yeah, it's quite difficult. Um, but there are a few words in here that perhaps we can look together as a community, as friends on the path. We notice that all of these 5 mindfulness trainings start with the word aware of the suffering caused by. We suffer because of the greed inside of us and in other people. We turn on the news, we see corruption, we see bribery. People just want to get rich and it doesn't matter what happened to others. We're destroying the planet so that our bank account can have more money, so that perhaps we have more material things in our house, so that our life can be more comfortable. We don't care much about the suffering of other people or the state of the earth. Social injustice, stealing, and oppression. Initially, this precept just simply stated, do not steal. But our teacher, he wanted to make these precepts appropriate to our time and relevant to the situation in this world. That's why he added exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression. Then when we are aware of this, we know what we need to do. We are committed to practicing generosity in our thinking, speaking, and acting. Thinking, speaking, and acting are karma. 3 actions. Karma means action. And they must be hand in hand together. The
cannot separate from one another. Yes, perhaps there were times we caught our thinking quite mean, and yet we are able to say the opposite of what our thinking is. I don't know, does this happen to you sometime? As practitioner, we practice mindfulness. And mindfulness here is first to be mindful of our thoughts, which can be tiring. Yes, I know. Because most of the times our thoughts are quite negative, or a lot of self-blaming and self-worth, self-loath, or afraid of what others are judging us or thinking about us. So these thoughts make us tired. But the second mindfulness training is to remind us to be generous in our thinking, speaking, and acting. And there are ways for us to do this without feeling tired or burnt out. And we are committed not to steal. As monastic, we practice this. We learn this on the first day we enter the monastery. Even if I need to borrow floss from Sister Đính, for example, let's say that in the bathroom, Sister Đíng's personal toiletry and my toiletry are next to one another, and I have close relationship with Sister Đính. And it's the end of the night, I need to brush my teeth, but I don't have my floss. I look over at Sister Đíng's toiletry and I saw floss. And before taking it, of course, it's noble silence. Sister Đính is already asleep. I can't wake her up and say, Sister, may I have your floss? Right? Can't do that. So I would say silently, Sister Đính, okay, I ask permission to take, a little bit of your floss. Then tomorrow, when I see her, I will let her know. I will let her know. For the last 13 years, I stay at Magnolia Grove Monastery. I never had this fear of losing anything. And sometimes I take this, advantage. I thought it's normal. What's so special about it? But it's not the same when we go somewhere else. When I go to the store or when I go somewhere else. Or when I go to a place where there's a sign saying, please keep all your personal belongings with you. Don't leave anything important in your car. Why is there a message like that? It is because it's not safe. It is because there are people who have the tendency to steal for various reasons. So when we are in an environment where it's safe for us to just leave our belongings, we don't have to worry about losing them, please be happy, have goosebumps, remind yourself how lucky we are. When I traveled to Singapore in 2018, I was surprised to hear that in Singapore, if you travel, if you're on the bus in the public and you forgot your phone or your purse, 3 hours later you return, they are still there. Because of people's awareness, and also because they have camera everywhere. And sometimes these friends, they travel to different countries. And they think that, oh, this country must be the same as in Singapore. But it's not. But to live a life where when you see money in front of us, And there's no need to steal them. There's no need to look around to see, is anyone in this room? And then take it and put it in your purse. If we don't have that tendency, please be grateful, be happy. You have watered many good seeds inside to respect other people's belongings. The seeds have been transmitted to you from your ancestors, your parents, and today you continue. And you pass this on to your younger generation, to your descendants, teaching them to respect other people's possessions. And if they wish to have it, they ask permission or they work to earn that. And our words, our thoughts, as we know, they have power. So let's say that, have you ever caught yourself in a moment where, let's say, you put your phone somewhere and you couldn't find it? And instead of saying, oh, I lost my phone, because the word lost and the word steal, they go hand in hand. So instead of saying, oh, I lost my phone, you could say, oh, I don't know where I put my phone. Well, I'm missing my phone. Because when we say, oh, I lost my phone, perhaps unconsciously you're accusing someone stealing your phone. And then let's say, oh, 3 hours later, you found it in your purse or in your pocket or in your car. So we use, when we are not able to find what we, our materials or personal items, instead of jumping to conclusion and assuming that someone stole it, first thing to do is to say, okay, it's going to be okay. Of course, this is different when it's $12 million and an iPhone, right? Or hundreds and thousands of dollars. It depends on each person's situation. But I think the first thing that we need to do is to come back and take care of that feelings, of that emotions. Be generous in our thinking, in our speaking, and in our acting. Not only when we give, but when perhaps we're missing some of our personal items. And be aware of who we are assuming steal of things. Just be aware of it. And just smile to it. I caught myself doing this. Like when I miss something, right away in my head, there would be someone's name come up. And I say, oh, Sister Bội Nghiêm, are you sure? And when I found out, oh, I left it in like somewhere very deep down inside in my back box or somewhere on my purse because it's a mess in my bag, then I feel bad, I feel guilty. And at the same time, I feel very happy because my perception is being corrected not long afterward. Perhaps there are some of us, we don't have that financial resource to help people. And that is totally, totally okay and not a problem. I happen to be that person. As a Buddhist nun, I only have $70 monthly for allowance, same with Sister Đính. None of Plum Village monastics have a bank account. And yet we can still help many people. We can be generous. And we can help those who are in need. It is the compassion. It is a genuine heart that people can really benefit when we help someone. And there are those of us who have the material resources to help, then please help. Prioritize the places, the group of people that you wish to help. There are people who want to help immigrants who just recently come to the US. When my family came to the US, my parents did not yet have jobs. And, Vietnamese friends around the neighborhood brought clothes, different items, and gave them to us. My parents shop at the thrift store. Back then, I thought that, yeah, because we're poor, that's why we shop at the thrift store. But now I think, no, we shop at the thrift store not because we're poor, but because we want to protect the environment. Because we want to protect the earth. We want to live a simple life. I will share my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in need. And also with ourselves. This precept and all other trainings, first we have to come back to take care of ourselves, to spend time with ourselves, so that as we breathe in, we are aware of our eyes. As we breathe out, we smile to our eyes. This here is to help us to remind us the different conditions of happiness we have. This body here, when we sit down and we make a list of the different parts that are working well, they are endless. Especially if you're in healthcare, you know every little details about your body. You can make so many pages. But for me, because I don't know yet much about this body, all I can do is, yes, aware of my eyes, aware of the cells in my body. I tend to like generalize it. But if we get into the specific, the bones of my index finger, and pay to simple details in our body, and we cherish that with great happiness and gratitude. Perhaps in the past we look at this body with not so much love. And we start to look at these feelings with not so much love. With this mindfulness training, we are invited to come back and get in touch with this body, with the feelings, to remind us that it is a wonder of life to be able to see, to be able to walk. We have to remind ourselves this every single day. And as practitioner, we can be creative. Be creative in reminding ourselves the different conditions of happiness. When was the last time you chewed your food and you didn't have a toothache and you were happy? When you swallow your saliva and there's no pain on your throat. None of us sitting here, it seems like none of us here are coughing. Are we happy? So happiness is something that we can touch in this moment when we come back to this body and when we look around. For me, if the happiness is something that we can find in our daily life, in many moments in our daily life, then that can build a very solid foundation for the happiness in the future. If we sit down and we eat and there's no feeling of happiness, then something is wrong with us. We underestimate the power of a meal. We underestimate the wonder of swallowing of food. We seem to underestimate the power of holding a chopstick or a spoon or a fork. And we underestimate the hard, loving work of the food that we have on our plate. So please, happiness is here and now. I used to think that, oh, if one day I go to Hawaii, I would be so happy. But I think I've gone through that phase. Yes. I say this with happiness, not with ego. There's nothing in the future for me to seek for happiness, really. Because I can find happiness so easily in the present moment. And it's natural, it's not hard labor. Because it's a training that I've been doing ever since I became a monastic, or even before that without knowing. And listening to Thay's teachings and the teachings from the monastics, reminding us to come back to the present moment and be happy with the simple things that we have in our daily life. And then over the years of practice, I also practice to be happy with what I don't have in my life. If we don't have that strong seed of wanting to take things that belong to others, that makes us happy. If we don't have that tendency to drive and to text at the same time, that makes us happy. If we don't have that tendency to see this body as like an instrument, that makes us happy. There are people who have a lot of money. I remember my sister, she was quite a successful business person. In my family, not in the world, but just in my family. Very successful. She had a lot of money. She was a business owner. And she shared with me that there were times when she would come home with a full bag of money. She threw it on her bed. And she was not happy. She was exhausted, stressed, by the end of the day. And she and her husband kept on arguing over how they should run a business together. There was no true happiness, even though the bag was filled with money. I know when it comes to rich people saying this, it's quite funny, right? Because they have money already. Yes, but sometimes we learn things the hard way. There are people who have a lot of fame and power, and they're not happy. And I think perhaps what is missing is that spirituality in their daily life, to keep it balanced. We need spirituality in our life to know when we have enough, and if we need to do more, then we know how to do it in a way where there is true contentment and true happiness. We do it to help people. We do it to help ourselves be more beautiful. Because greed is an addiction. Money, fame, power, sex. If we're not careful, they can consider as addiction. Just as monastic too. It's very easy for us to fall into the trap of fame. Now with YouTube, podcast, and when people see us, they give us compliments. Thank you so much for the wonderful Dharma talk. Your teaching has helped me a lot. And if we want to continue to hear this praise, or if there will be days we don't hear it anymore, we feel something is missing in our life, then it's a sign. I'm telling you this not to say that, okay, don't compliment us, but it's to remind us to practice. When we receive compliments, we practice humility. And we don't give ourselves all the credit. We give credit to our teacher, to the Sangha, to the environment, to the friends. Not to say, oh, no, I don't think that is true. For me, it's my practice that, let's say, when you come to me and say, Sister Bo Nghiêm, thank you for the beautiful Dharma talk. I join my palms and I say, thank you for your encouragement. And I hope what you share is from your genuine heart, or not because you feel like you have to say something nice to me after the Dharma talk. And right at that moment, I receive it because I know that you are watering good seeds in you, because you're expressing gratitude and you are watering good seeds in me. And I love it when we practice watering good seeds in ourselves and in others. This is a practice of true happiness. So if I say, oh no, that is not true, I don't think so, then right away, you feel a little bit like down, and I'm accusing you of lying, right? Which is not nice. So when people are being generous to us, give them that opportunity to be generous. And we don't have to say, oh no, that's not true. Oh, it's okay, you're being too nice. Just allow them to be generous because they are watering good seeds. They're practicing being generous in their thinking, in their speaking, and in their acting. And if we decline their generosity, we're preventing them from watering good seeds. Of course, please, when we listen to a Dharma talk, let us be intelligent. We know who is being authentic, when they are being authentic. This body can let us know. This body is very intelligent. When we are with someone who is not being generous, pretend to be generous, we know. And happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external condition. You know, sometimes I question about this statement. Let's say with climate change that is happening, that is an external condition. How can I not suffer? How can I be happy when knowing that in June 2023 was the hottest month on record? But it doesn't mean that I should fall into despair. I ask myself, what can I do in my daily life to help protect the earth? Yesterday, when I was at Whole Foods, I know that after lunch I will be very sleepy, but I need to stay awake to sit next to my sister when she's driving, because it's her first time driving on the interstate. Yeah. I wanted to create conditions for the sisters to drive. I can't fall asleep after lunch. So I purchased a regular cup of coffee. And I decided not to take the lid. There's no need to have the lid. There's no need to have the straw. I just carry my coffee open air like that. Because I know that, you know, this plastic lid is not gonna decompose in the next months or year. It's a single-use plastic, and I am doing my very best to avoid using single plastic. I don't want to wait until the US government make it into a federal law, ban single plastic use in the United States for me to change my habit. These simple things. Please eat more vegetables and less meat. This is to help protect the earth. Remember that this second mindfulness trainings is for us to offer as well as not to take. And focus on what we can do instead of what we cannot do. In a household, when we shop, can we use less plastic? Can we help to pick up the trash? Can we use less single-use plastic? Do we need to go to Costco or Sam's or stores to buy like plastic water bottles? Just look around our house. We start with ourselves. We start with our house. We start with how we choose to shop. And we can make slow changes over time. And then with this, then, we're helping the external condition so that there is a peace of mind inside our heart. Happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external condition. So we have to start with our mental attitude. Change how we have thought, how we have acted, how we have spoken. then with that, the external condition, we are helping. And we know that we can only do so much to solve an issue that is so deep. Just like with racism, there are things that we can do to help prevent racism. We look at people that look differently like us and tell ourselves, this person is a Buddha to be. This person has the capacity to become a Buddha, and we don't underestimate that Buddhahood inside of them, regardless of their age, their gender, their sexual orientation, their ethnicities, their skin color. This is true happiness. This is generosity. And so please come back. Come back, and when you have a chance, make a list of the conditions of happiness you have right now. No toothache, eyes can still see, ears can still hear, we can still drive. We love to do what we love. We can still feel. And right now, what we don't have that makes us happy. We don't have 10 million in a bank account. That can make us happy. Because when we have a lot of money, we're afraid of losing them. We're afraid of people take advantage of us. What can we give? Write down, what can we give? This can be a topic for a meditation. What can I give? What do I want to give? True happiness is not something in the distant future. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Driving to go to work, we can be happy, not just to get to the workplace. My mom taught me a very deep lesson when she was still alive. I remember how she once shared with me, like whenever she goes to work, she does not long for a paycheck. She just work. She's not excited, oh, Friday is here, that means I get a paycheck. She just does not have that. And there's a profound teaching behind that for me. It comes from my mom. She's very simple, but in her simplicity, there is a lot of depth. She didn't want to teach me a lesson, but I can find a profound teaching in it. So pay attention to the people around you. Sometimes they say something that is very simple. They do something that is very simple. But in that moment, if our mindfulness is strong, our presence is there, we can see profound teaching in it. That's when perhaps it can help us to be more happy in the present moment. All of us here agree money does not bring true happiness. Yes, it brings comfort, some sort of comfort and safety and fame. We see many famous people that suffer greatly. There are still many unfamous people that suffer greatly. It's just they're not in the news. So come back and appreciate this body, this soul, this spirit. See this as a gift, as a wonder, so that we can practice generosity. This body helps us, this mind helps us to practice generosity. For me, spending time with you on Thursday is my practice of generosity. And it gives me great happiness. You might not think so, but this is why I still come back on Thursday. If it doesn't make me happy, I would have stopped this after 3 months. But it's been 3 years and 3 months. So whatever we do, try to find happiness in it, not because of obligation or responsibility. It is because it is our nutriment. It is our happiness. Because by the end of the day, it is our happiness that help us to continue or to stop. I can be here and I can make 27 of you happy. But if I'm not happy, it doesn't really change much. I can receive your love. But if I don't love doing this, it doesn't make much difference. So as you see that at the end of the day, or in this moment, it is our love, it is our happiness that help us to continue or to stop, to be beautiful or to be mean, to change or not to change. Yes, other people's happiness play an important role. They are a condition. We are also a condition. And our condition might be the last condition. We make it or we break it. That is our condition. We are not the only condition. I am not the only condition. You are not the only condition. But we happen to be maybe at this moment the last condition. To make it or to break it. We see money on the table, somebody left it. We want to take it. They say that condition is there, the money is there. Now we are the last condition to take it or not to take it at that moment. And we know what happened when we take it. And we know what happened when we don't take it. So we are not the only condition. We just happen to be the last condition at that moment. So with that awareness, our mindfulness will increase. And perhaps our happiness, our true happiness, will also deepen. And for us not to have so much ego and pride, but for us to be humble and mindful of the choices that we make. So dear friends, be happy. Taste the true happiness. What is your true happiness? Write it down. Share it. If you don't have anyone to share to, have a Zoom call with yourself and record it. Because we know that sometimes the conversations that we wish to have, there's no one to share. because we're just not on the same vibe. It's so easy to talk about, you know, I don't know what's easy to talk about, but I know that, let's say that I like to ask deep questions and conversation that have quality. But sometimes there are some people who prefer not to have that. So I choose people who appreciate that and I talk to them. And when I don't have anyone, I would have intimate conversation with myself in my sitting meditation. Or I share in the weekly online session. So I hope that each one of you have the space and the platform to share. That can be your own pet, you know, because pets, they have feelings. They can feel a feeling. They are Buddhas. They have Buddha nature. Yes. But this happiness is something that is we can reach, we can touch. We're not hallucinating. People who take drugs, they get high, they have all this happiness. That's not true happiness. Our true happiness is something that, yes, we can see. I remember one time this young person shared with me that he would often get high, and after that, wow, the trees are just so beautiful. Everything is just so beautiful. And now he does not do drugs anymore. He comes to us and practice with us, and he say, wow, the trees are beautiful. He comes to the monastery. Yeah, he eats vegetarian food. He eats mushroom, but it's a different type of mushroom. Yeah, so we can feel happiness. We can touch happiness without the intervention of any substance. And when we know we can do that, it means that we are very healthy at this moment. So please take all the opportunity to secrete happy hormones. This is a way to prevent us, you know, to fall into great despair later on. So I like to end here. Thank you so much for your listening. And let us listen to just one sound of the bell.